All right, guys. Game went final about 10 minutes ago in Cleveland. So these are my thoughts right after it ends. Not a whole lot of time to really digest and give detailed thoughts into things. But basically, what I saw out there today were the players on offense, particularly one guy, really bailing out the coaching staff. And if we continue to see that as this season goes on, then I don't know how sustainable a lot of this stuff is. But hey, the offense, beautiful. I mean, my God, that was some magical stuff. Wilson, almost perfect. He held onto the ball too long once or twice. He had maybe one bad throw the whole game, but that was as close to perfect as you're going to get from a quarterback. Carson, you know he's worn out. You know he's tired. You know he's getting the ball way too much over the last 3 games. And he continues to grind it out. Great game by Chris. Lockett, awesome game. Metcalf, monstrous game. He had multiple big plays in this game. The 30-yarder off a short little dump RPO. The third down that basically ended the game. Just absolutely wonderful stuff from the rookie. David Moore had some catches. Jerron Brown, who I've been hard on. I've been saying I want him to get fewer snaps because I think our other receivers are more talented. He stepped up today after I thought, we targeted him on a crucial play early in this game and didn't work out. And I was thinking to myself those same thoughts. Like, why do we keep throwing the ball to Jerron Brown when we have Lockett and Metcalf and more on this roster? And then he bounced back and made 2 nice touchdown plays, 2 nice touchdown catches. So I got to give it up to him. Offensive line, the makeshift offensive line, other than maybe a period of time in the middle of the game, I thought they played great, opening up holes in the running game, giving Wilson plenty of time in the pocket. I'm not saying it was perfect, but from that offensive line, missing 2 of our best players, including far and away our best offensive lineman, that was as good as I could have hoped for. So the whole offense, huge ups to those guys for going on the road and making sure that we won the game. But that's where it ends, guys. I mean, straight up, the Seahawks won this game because we have Michael Jordan playing quarterback, basically. We have Michael Jordan playing quarterback. He's playing like he's the best player in the league. Right now, it's hard to even argue who would be close to him. And because of that, you come out with a 32-28 win. But look, I cannot continue to get mad at these players on defense and special teams. I don't think that we can really put this on the players anymore. I mean, that first quarter was the worst quarter of defense we've probably had under Pete Carroll, other than maybe against Tampa Bay in 2013. I don't know. Maybe the second quarter against Houston in 2013 when we gave up like 400 yards in one quarter or some ridiculous nonsense like that. But this defense got run off the field to start this game. And the only reason why we stopped them, most of our stops in the second quarter on, were because Mayfield threw a bad pass and it tipped off his receiver's hands or Shaquille Griffin's hands because the ball was behind the receiver or way ahead of the receiver over the receiver's head. And then we were able to pick it off because Odell Beckham dropped what would have been a first down on a wide open, easy pitch and catch. And we ended up turning that into a blocked punt. Or Baker just plain missed a receiver. Just the only stops we got on defense today, or most of them were because somebody on Cleveland screwed up. Odell Beckham letting passes bounce right off his hands, Baker missing guys. One thing or another, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham for killing some of those drives for Cleveland, because I know those picks bounced off receivers' hands, and you can put it on them as well, but Baker was not accurate. Baker was not careful with the ball, and quite honestly, yeah, I think the defense sucked a big one today. They did clamp down for the last 44 minutes. I get that, but I feel like it was things that were out of our control. I feel like we were very defense got fortunate a lot as that game went on. And I can't really get mad at the players anymore because I think the coaches are just putting them in bad situations. And had we lost this game, and even though we did win this game, I'm really, really looking at these coaches. And we won. We're 5-1, so nobody needs to get fired right now. But I'm really, really starting to be concerned with where this is going because, like I said, we won this game because we have the best quarterback, or probably the best player in football right now, and he was able to lift everything up. Because, this defense, they can't tackle. I know you guys are watching the same game I am, and we just don't get tackles. Every play, it seems like somebody's missing. Kendricks, horrific. Kendricks is one of the worst tacklers I've ever seen in a Seahawks uniform. Tedrick Thompson, even I'll put KJ Wright out there a little bit, as much as it kills me to do that because I love KJ. Delano Hill, whatever his name is now. Frickin' Bradley McDougald even. And I don't want to rag on McDougald because he's still a good player for us, but throw him out there. We got this, the tackling is just trash. The the rotation at safety at free safety is like, we must have swapped out free safeties 5 times in this game. Tedrick comes in, and then we pull out Tedrick and put in Hill, and then we put in Blair, and then we put Tedrick back out there, and then we put Blair back out there. It's just, none of those guys are any good right now, and the only guy who's really salvageable, in my opinion, is Marquise Blair because he's a rookie, but right now, all 3 of those guys are not getting the job done. I know Tedrick had another pick today, but you can credit that one to Shaquille Griffin, who spiked it up for him. So, and basically, to me, he's just a low IQ player. We got a few of those on the defense right now. It used to feel like we didn't have any of them, but that rotation at safety, it's killing us. Safeties misplaced so many plays, mostly from the free safety spot. I don't want to give too much heat to McDougald, but he's not playing great either today. So many plays where KJ Wright and Michael Kendricks are covering wide receivers, and of course they get beat because that's what happens when you put a linebacker on a good receiver. No pass rush to speak of. We did not touch Baker Mayfield but maybe one time this whole game. It's really starting to get unacceptable how bad this pass rush is because the personnel is there. The only guy on this team who got any kind of pressure on the quarterback was Quentin Jefferson and Clowney on one play where he got held, and that ended up being a huge play because we turned it into a turnover. But basically, the defense, I don't see much. I just don't see much. And the players are flawed. I understand that, but it really just feels like the coaching staff is not doing a good job of putting them in a good situation to perform. It's the coaches who are putting Michael Kendricks out there over and over and over again like he's one of the best linebackers in football when the dude cannot tackle and he cannot cover. He's good rushing the passer. He's good at making big plays, but he is not a sound fundamental player at all. And we keep putting him out there like we think he's a Pro Bowler, and he's just not. It's the coaches who are putting KJ Wright and Kendricks on coverage on receivers when they know they can't do that job. I think the coaches have something to do with the pass rush being so damn ineffective. We just keep sending guys into the middle of the field. And, the few times we do actually disrupt Baker in the backfield, he just takes off up the middle and there's nobody there and he's got an easy 10-yard gain. So, I don't know. The special teams doesn't even need to be talked about. The special teams is beyond pathetic at this point. It is the most frustrating thing with this team for me right now is just the fact that Brian Schneider still has a job, and we all know why he has a job, and it's really completely inexcusable that that's allowed to continue. But it's a good win, but what I saw out there today was a handful of players on the offense, or you could even say most of the players on offense, coming together and playing so well that they made sure they got this win, even though the coaches did not help them. The Honestly, if you're being straight honest, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the only major coach on this team right now that is really doing a good job is Brian Schottenheimer. Everyone else is putting us in a position to fail, and that does not need to be happening. So, Ken Norton Jr., look, as soon as we start losing a game or two, I'm going to really start be calling for his head. The only reason I'm not calling for his head now is I know it's pointless because we won this game, but somebody has to fall on the axe for how bad the tackling is, for how bad the pass rush is, for how many times our players in the secondary, our linebackers are put in coverage in situations where they just can never win. I'm looking at Brian Schneider for obvious reasons. I mean, the special teams is pathetic. And you can't tell me it's the players because we keep swapping out players these last few years and the special team still sucks. And now Michael Dixon, who was maybe the best punter in football last year, suddenly sucks. And I don't believe he just forgot how to punt in one offseason. I believe that there is something going on with the way he's being coached. I have to believe there's something there. And I'm even looking at Pete Carroll because if our defense is this shitty, if our defense is completely dependent on the other team just giving it to us, what is the point of Pete Carroll? Because I'll tell you what, today I saw a coach get out-coached. I saw Pete Carroll get out-coached by Freddie Kitchens. I really do. I think the better team won because we have more talent. But Pete Carroll got out-coached today by Freddie Kitchens. And I'm not saying Freddie Kitchens even coached a good game. But they went for it on fourth down instead of punting, deep in our territory or kicking long field goals or, chip shot field goals. They went for it on 4th and 9. They went for it on 4th and 3 and converted. Even though the 4th and goal where they didn't get it, they still went for it. I still would take that any day of the week. This team were punting at our 39-yard line on 4th and 8. This team were kicking a field goal from the 2-yard line with the best quarterback in football. I'm sorry. I want to be more excited after a big win like that. And to a certain extent I am because, look, I do not care how this team plays until December. I've said that before. I'll say it again. But I am having a hard time believing that this team is going to suddenly turn a switch on in December and suddenly be able to tackle, suddenly be able to not put linebackers in coverage on wide receivers, suddenly be able to rush the passer. So I got big problems with this coaching staff. I have some problem with some of the players on defense as well, but it's hard for me to judge those guys because I feel like the coaches are just putting them in bad situations. So shout out to Trey Flowers for his first career interception. I thought he played an all right game. He's a guy I'm not really going to pick on right now. KJ Wright had a big play in pass coverage, and he had a big interception to pretty much put this game away. So I'll give it up to him as well. But yeah, coaching. There's a coaching problem with this team right now, and if we start dropping some games, if it comes a time when having Michael Jordan playing quarterback for your team is not enough to get wins, then I will be first in line to start headhunting for some of these coaches. All right, big win today. Big win. 5-1 is huge. And again, this coaching staff has until the end of the season to get the defense and special teams playing better. They have that benefit. They have that opportunity because the offense is keeping us in this race. But if they do not figure it out by the end of the season, then I am looking for this team to clean house. That's really what I got, guys. I don't know, guys. I'm still kind of in the mentality of when it was 20-6. When it was 20-6, I thought we were done. I thought that this defense could not get off the field. I thought that this offense was going to be held back by the coaching staff because we were going to keep giving the ball back to Cleveland because we don't understand that our defense can't stop them. And I was just in the mentality that we're going to get blown out. But then Cleveland started making mistakes. We capitalized on a couple of them. Wilson played one of the best games I've ever seen him play, and that's saying something. And we get this win, but I'm still in that mindset of like, geez, What's going to happen when Wilson has an A minus game? What's going to happen when Wilson has a B plus game? Are we going to be able to win? We used to be able to win when Wilson had bad games. Now we're barely squeaking out wins at the last second when Wilson is playing basically perfect. That's what it took. It took perfection to win this game. All right, I'm going on and on. I'm babbling, but it's a weird spot. I'm really excited for the offense. The offense looks like they're ready to compete for a championship, but now we got to figure out this defense. All right. Might live stream tonight during the late game. I don't know. I'm doing some stuff tonight, so it might not happen. But go Hawks. Big win today. Big comeback. Happy to see it. But there are problems on this team, and I really need them to be addressed before I get excited about where this season might be headed. Peace.